Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Arkansas Weather Blog. We are your ticket to big weather events. I'm sorry about the audio in the last video. Hopefully it's better here, but I got this lavalier mic. Hopefully it's working right this time. But thank you again for getting your weather information here. Everybody's talking about what's going to happen next week, and it's interesting to see other people now starting to finally start talking about it as well. But anyway, just remember where you heard it here first about this big storm system that's going to be affecting much of the Mid-South next week. It's just how is it going to affect us? And I don't want to sit here on the blog and do an update and hang my hat on each and every model run, because it's going to waver between the GFS and the European. Each one's going to come in differently for a few days until we get closer to the event. And even as we get closer, there's going to be some differences. So that's the last thing I want to do, is just, hang my hat on any particular solution. I like to look for trends. When everything is trending colder, then all of a sudden one model goes warmer. I hate to say, oh, it's going to be warm now, and then all of a sudden they come back in colder and colder, or vice versa. So this is the bottom line. What I really want to convey and communicate to you is the fact that there's going to be probably a good amount of precipitation next week. What form is very much questionable, because it all has to do with the track. All the computer models show the storm system. It's just, what's the track going to be? How strong and how deep is that cold air going to be? Where that sets up. But I think you're going to end up, of course, the best chance for anything frozen, as always, is northern Arkansas. So it's just a matter to me of how far south does it get? Does it even get into northern Arkansas? I think there's going to be a swath where somebody sees snow, somewhere. I'm talking about not just Arkansas, but across our region of the country. There's going to be a swath of snow, and then on the south side of that swath of snow, there's going to be some ice. South of that, it's going to be a cold rain. And wherever that low tracks, just to the east and to the south of that low track, the track of that low, you're looking at thunderstorm potential. And how many times have you seen in February or March, even into March, where you have in the state of Arkansas, because of the track of that low pressure south and east of it, you can have southeast Arkansas getting thunderstorms and severe weather, where parts of northern Arkansas getting snow and ice. That's the type of system that's at least possible as we go into next week. Very dynamic. It could have a lot of different types of weather, and it all depends on that track. And in this video, I'm just going to show you one of those tracks, and that's from the European model that I do like. It's not perfect, but over the next few days, I'll show that to you, and we'll see how it does. I know a lot of people out there talking about how bad the European has been this winter, but it has been very bad in the long range. But I like what it's doing with this system, so let's get into it. Okay, we're starting off here on Saturday morning. This is valid at 6 a.m. and using this, you see these faint gray arrows? That's a southerly flow. There's low pressure. There's a frontal boundary right in here. The blue dash line is a thickness line known as the 540 line. It's a thickness of the atmosphere. I like to use that for a rain snow line, but it's not perfect. But we're south of the boundary. Got a little bit of a warm-up coming Friday into Saturday, Thursday, Friday, and into Saturday, the warm-up. But there's cold air lurking. What you see in the black lines, those are isobars, lines of equal barometric pressure. You see low pressure here, high pressure here. This is the cold air locked up here, and here's the warm air. This is the battle zone right in here. This is where you're looking at, the clash of the air masses. And you got a wave of moisture coming across Saturday, and the front coming across the state. This is 6 o'clock, and there's the front slicing, moving into central Arkansas. So it looks like milder temperature Saturday, followed by cooler air, colder air definitely on Sunday, with some rain lingering Sunday morning as we start to see energy and a flow of jet in the jet, instead of coming out of the north, we're talking about the upper levels, coming out of the north. Now it's got a component. Now we're starting to tap, if I could just talk, tap into the subtropical jet, and that's going to start sending in waves of moisture. And this is Sunday afternoon, and you're looking at cold air coming in on northeasterly wind and precipitation. And this is indicating that on Sunday, you could have some snow and ice problems across Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas. It'd be rain, and a cold rain at that, across the rest of the state. So that's one wave of moisture. And then we're already starting to see signs of the next wave of moisture. Let me go out. Here we go. New area of high pressure, and it's strong. This is Tuesday morning. Again, the European, this blue dash line is the rain-snow line. You got low pressure trying to form out here across far northern Old Mexico. And if you look on the top of your screen, there's a new area of high pressure at the surface, 1040. So there's your cold air pump right there. That's what's supplying you the cold air. And to get favorable winter weather, a favorable track for winter weather in the state, the surface winds have got to be out of the east or the northeast. That's usually most favored for significant winter weather events. And you want this low to track something like this to the southeast of the state. Heavy amounts of precipitation, and this is again the rain snow line. Notice this is according to this, again, this is just one run of the computer model. And like I told you in the beginning of this video, you can't hang your hat on one computer model run, but I want to show you the possibility. Look at this. This is Tuesday. This is all precipitation. This is the amount of precipitation between 6 a.m. and noon next Tuesday, the 4th of February. And this is likely going to be the area of snow. And in the south of that area of snow, you're looking at an area of ice. Then you're looking at a cold rain. What I'm going to do, I'm going to have to load it up here, surface temperatures. Just remember, this is noon on Tuesday. And the surface low is tracking across northern Louisiana, heavy amounts of precipitation. Again, you're looking, this is all snow in the plains, and it's heavy snow at some places here in Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas. And you're looking at a zone likely in northern Arkansas where it's not, the cold air is not deep enough for snow, but the surface temperatures are cold enough in this area of the state where this is where I would be concerned about icing, and the further south you go, it's just a cold rain. Again, this is just according to today's run, and it's going to change tomorrow, I promise you. But the thing I want to show you are the things I'm looking at, the possibilities that are out there. It tracks the low east of us. The cold air starts to make a dive towards the south. Notice that 540 line, you see that? Notice how it gets pushed towards the south. Watch in the previous frame, see? See how this 540 line is north, then the cold air starts to get deeper as the low pulls it in. You see that? The upper level area of low pressure comes out and into Texas, and all this is snow. So you got cold air. Temperatures are falling behind this. This is Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. You've got this whole area here, according to this model, this whole area here is snow. And then you've got an area of icing likely in this location here in the state, and then further south, a cold rain. But let's say the cold air is further south and deeper, then you're looking at a different situation. But again, I'm just showing you what this computer model says. The low moves off towards the east, and look at the 540 line collapsing into Arkansas, and you have a situation where you have go from rain to ice to snow on Wednesday morning, and it's across a good majority of the state. There it is, as the upper level dynamics, the upper low comes out, and then it lifts away, and now you're dealing with an enormous area of cold, high pressure coming in, and you're back into the deep freeze by the middle to end of next week. So winter is not done with by any stretch of the imagination. You got a significant storm system, and the way this is playing out, I'll take you right here, you're going to have rain, and then on the back side, you could keep it frozen in this sector of the storm, but on the back side, just looking at this data, you're looking at rain, and on the backside it changes to some frozen precipitation. And the favored time period for that, according to the European, is it's going to come up late Tuesday and into Wednesday. Now, can this track change? Absolutely. What if the track of that low pressure goes further towards the north? Then you're going to open up the possibility for thunderstorms across southern Arkansas, and then winter weather further towards the north. Let's say this area of low pressure tracks further towards the south. And that allows the cold air to move in further towards south. It grabs in that colder air and keeps it, and it's deeper. Then you're talking more of a wintry scenario. If it moves up north, then you're talking about a rain scenario. So, you look at this and you look at any piece of data, and I'm going to go and show you temperatures here because I forgot to load this. But surface temperatures, it does show the storm system. Now let's go to the middle of, let's go to the next week here, Tuesday at noon. Remember we stopped at Tuesday at noon. Look at this. See the 32-degree line? That white line is a 32-degree line from Mena, looks like down towards Russellville, maybe Morrilton. And again, don't take this specifically. I'm just showing you what the model shows. Over to Fort Smith. So while that 540 line is in this location right here in southern Missouri, you got an area here at the surface that's below freezing. So you probably got a warm layer aloft, and you're dealing with an icing situation across northern Arkansas. And then look at this. See how tightly packed these isotherms are? You really change the temperature over a short amount of space here. So you go from, there's quite a gradient from 40 degrees, that's a 40-degree isotherm. We're 30s here in Little Rock. 40 degrees here to 50s and 60s across Louisiana. And then as that cold air comes in behind the low, see how that freezing line this is Wednesday morning, look how that freezing line collapses into southeastern Arkansas. So again, just looking at this data, I say rain changing to snow before ending. And where that in-between area sets up with the ice is yet to be seen. I hope I made sense. There's a storm to watch. It's interesting now that, you look at other people on Twitter, they're starting to say, ooh, next week concerns me. Well, just remember where you heard it here first. The bottom line, no matter what happens, it does look like the wildfire situation is going to see some improvements next week. And that's some very good news. I just don't want ice. If we're going to get something, let's get snow. Thank you for enduring and listening to my rant. Appreciate you coming here to the Arkansas Weather Blog. As always, I'll keep you updated on Facebook and Twitter. The Arkansas Weather Blog here at KTV.com. We are your ticket to big weather events.